Hello and welcome to Dental Studies Simplified. I am Dr. Ankita Kotecha and today's topic is decision making on when to perform microbial testing. So let us begin with the topic. First question: why is microbial testing employed in periodontal disease management? The answer is in its etiology, the bacterial specificity. We all know that various periodontal pathogens are responsible for periodontal diseases, and there are specific periodontal pathogens which are implicated in specific form of periodontal diseases. For example, role of Aggregatibacter actinomycetum comitans in aggressive periodontitis. Similar implications in other various periodontal diseases, various forms of periodontal diseases, and that is why this bacterial specificity forms the basis of microbial testing. So now the next question: how will this microbial testing help us in periodontal disease management? The answer is the selection of systemic antibiotics. As already discussed in my previous video on systemic antibiotics in periodontal disease, the microbial testing or the microbial analysis will help us in selection of an appropriate systemic antibiotics for that particular patient, for that case person. We all know there are certain antibiotics which acts against these periodontal pathogens, but it is not necessary that they will act in every case because of the property of antibiotic resistance. So while performing microbial testing, we have two questions, the answers for which have to be sought out. The first question is, which are the microorganisms particularly present in that case? The answer to this is performing PCR or other such antibody based tests. Clear? The second question is, if these organisms that are identified to be present in that case, are they resistant to any particular antibiotics? Now the answer to this question can be obtained by doing culture and sensitivity test, and that is why just knowing the various types of microorganisms or their levels or proportions is not enough. We should also know about the status of antibiotic resistance, which is obtained by culture and sensitivity test. So both PCR or such similar methods and culture and sensitivity test both have to be performed to obtain a complete information on the microbial composition and its antibiotic resistance status, and thus it will help us in selecting the best appropriate systemic antibiotics which will yield us the treatment outcomes. Clear? So the answer is microbial testing for two reasons. One is proportions or levels of the microorganisms, and the second is antibiotic resistance property. So this is a brief outline of when to perform and why to perform microbial testing. Now we will come to decision making. So what are the indications for microbial testing? No, it is not indicated in every routine periodontal patient that comes to our OPD or clinic or institution. There are certain case scenarios which fits the employment or application of microbial testing. So the decision making goes as follows. Please excuse the terminologies that I am going to use because this content is taken from Decision Making in Periodontology and Implantology by Hons, and they haven't adapted the terminologies from the latest classification. So the decision making goes like, if the case after doing periodontal examination and coming to your diagnosis, if the periodontal diagnosis is non-refractory periodontitis or chronic periodontitis but of mild or moderate category, then no need to perform microbial testing because these cases are manageable by standard periodontal therapy. Clear? Non-refractory periodontitis, that is periodontitis which does not belong to refractory periodontitis category, or chronic periodontitis of mild to moderate category, they are not meant for performing microbial testing. If and only if our case belongs to aggressive periodontitis, refractory periodontitis or severe chronic periodontitis, then microbial testing is indicated. So first question, the decision making is done. Which are the cases where microbial testing has to be done? The answer is aggressive periodontitis, refractory periodontitis and severe chronic periodontitis. Clear? So now the next question is, what are the methods available for performing microbial testing? Before that, let me tell you clearly, the microbial testing is performed in only specialized microbiological laboratories and not any other ordinary laboratories. So now, as we have already discussed, there are two questions and two answers, that is the levels or proportions of the types of the microorganisms which is obtained by PCR and the antibiotic resistance status of that particular organism by culture and sensitivity test. Clear? So these are the microbial testing required altogether, which will give you a complete picture of the type of the microorganism present, its levels or proportions and its antibiotic resistance status, upon which we will be able to select the best appropriate antibiotics which will act against them and give us the best treatment out. So now that we have understood which are the tests to be performed under microbial testing, the next question is how to collect the sample for microbial testing. Before talking about collection of the sample, let me clarify. The collection of sample has to be done prior to the debridement or the standard periodontal therapy and not afterwards. That is, clear the supragingival plaque, debris and the biofilm, blood, purulent material, everything by scalers and the cotton pallets. Once the supragingival area is clear, then perform the sample collection for microbial testing. So the answer is prior to performing the standard periodontal therapy. Okay. Now comes the main question, how to collect the sample. So again, there are two types of samples that can be collected and each type of the sample has its own individual applicability and advantages. So the first type of sample is pooled sample and the second type is single tooth sample. Now single tooth sample will provide us a detailed information on the microbial composition of the site with maximum disease activity. Now such single tooth sample collection is performed if the tooth is of strategic importance. That is, for example, it is to be considered for abutment for the fixed prosthesis or it is aesthetically concerned or critical tooth, then in such cases single tooth collection has to be performed. That is, the pocket associated with that single tooth, the sample is collected from such pocket. And pooled sample is collected from a few sites, let's say 3 or 4 pockets which exhibits maximum disease activity. Now this pooled sample will give us an overall idea of the microbial composition of the oral cavity. Clear? So either pooled or single tooth. Now comes the next question, what are the armamentarium required or what are the methods of collection of this pooled or single tooth sample? Be it pooled or single tooth sample, it can be collected by paper points, that is those endodontic paper points, fine endodontic paper points or curettes. Now each methodology has its own advantages and disadvantages. Like paper points, they are easy to use, easily reproducible, but they will collect the sample only from the outermost biofilm, outermost layer of the biofilm and mainly from the coronal region, which is inadequate because we all know the maximum disease activity is in the apical region and paper points fail to do so. And with curettes, although it will be able to collect a thicker biofilm, so a more better microbial composition, but again because it is thick, it will be unable to reach the most apical region and hence unable to collect from the main apical region where disease activity is maximum. So both the methodologies have its own set of advantages and disadvantages. Choose accordingly. Now coming to the main question, how often or how frequently these tests are to be repeated? So the answer is, first, the standard periodontal therapy is delivered to the patient after the microbial testing plus the antibiotics. Then the patient is reevaluated at the regular intervals followed by appropriate debridement or surgical access if indicated. And then the patient is determined for the disease activity. Is the disease activity present or absent? If the periodontium is found to be stable, then no need of repeating microbial testing. But if you find any disease activity or unstable periodontium, then we have to repeat the microbial testing and provide additional debridement and antimicrobials. So I will quickly summarize the decision making on microbial testing and its implications. So in the decision making, the first answer, cases which are indicated for microbial testing. The answer, aggressive periodontitis, refractory periodontitis and severe chronic periodontitis. So once our case is determined and it belongs to one of these categories, perform microbial testing, assess the systemic status of the patient as well, and provide standard periodontal therapy. Standard periodontal therapy plus, based on the results of microbial testing, provide the systemic antimicrobials. Clear? Now re-evaluate, perform additional debridement if indicated, or even consider surgical periodontal therapy if indicated, and then we have to determine whether the periodontium is stable or unstable. If it is stable, this is our ideal endpoint outcome, but if it is unstable, that is disease activity is still present, then repeat the microbial testing and provide additional debridement and antimicrobials once again. So this repeat frequency is ideally every 3 months. So this completes the topic decision making about how to employ microbial testing in a periodontal case management. I hope this topic is clear to you all, but if you still have any doubts or any queries, feel free to ask me in the comment section below or mail me at my email ID dentalstudiessimplified@gmail.com. Thank you for watching and listening to me. Study well, have a good day, stay safe.